Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, we're going to be talking about the movie The Recruit, which came out on Netflix January 30th, 2025. And I am joined by one of the actors in the movie, Nico Wan. Nico is a gangster. He plays a gangster in the movie Moonlighting as a part of the Korean intelligence, playing both sides of the law. So we're going to be talking to him about the movie and also about his career and how he got into acting. So Nico, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
For sure. So my name is Nico Wan. I'm an actor now. I used to be a private equity and venture capital lawyer that very recently made the transition into entertainment in acting, and it's been a really great experience. My first job was the show The Recruit. I was so lucky to be able to work with Teo Yu and Noah Centineo, in addition to our showrunner Alexi and all the producers and cast and crew, both from Korea and in Canada. So it's just been a really lovely experience to be on this second season, and I'm really grateful for it.
Well, how did you get into acting in the first place? You talked about how you transitioned from a lawyer to an actor.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling very stuck in my career as an attorney. I am a child of Asian immigrant parents. I'm also an only child, and so really we had that classic pathway of being, a minority, of being, hey, you must be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, et cetera. And I was a pre-med student, realized that I couldn't be a doctor. Like I was just volunteering at these hospitals, and the emotional aspect of it was much too much. And then I had, gone into law eventually, and in kind of the sphere of law as a career, the traditional kind of, minted path, I would say, as we're laid out to have, is to go to a good law school, go to a Suits or Suits LA type style law firm, and then go in-house. And that typically takes around 3 to 5 years, and I was able to kind of do that on the shorter end of time. And I'd kind of gotten to this process and place in my life where I thought, oh man, I've made it. Like I made it out even earlier than I thought I would. I'm so happy. And I was exploring life, and then I realized, hey, is this it? Like I wasn't really happy in my job. I didn't really want to climb the corporate ladder. So I kind of, to be in all fairness, just took a little reset and started exploring hobbies again. I had no hobbies beside going out with my friends and working effectively. And I took some time to be like taking singing lessons and, pottery making, and acting was what stuck. And eventually I realized how much I enjoyed the storytelling process of things. And I thought better late than never. Conveniently too, we had new management come into my old company, and it just created a really big cultural shift. And that in itself felt like, a sign from the universe to be, hey, you should really try and pursue this if you're interested in it. And I kind of just jumped in, and it's been a really amazing journey ever since.
Okay, well, talk to the listeners about The Recruit. Explain to them about, what the show is and what it's about and your role in it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the second season of The Recruit itself is a, CIA espionage show. It really follows Noah Centineo, who plays Owen Hendricks. He is a lawyer, surprisingly enough, and a lawyer who joins the CIA and goes through this really immense kind of super international espionage kind of tricks and I would say uh, tricks and adventure. And the second season takes us to South Korea, where Owen meets up with Chang-gyun, who is a Korean intelligence officer played by Tae Yu. And so a lot of the part in the espionage this season takes place in South Korea. I play a character called Jimin. Jimin is a gangster informant for the Korean National Intelligence Service. And I mean, Jimin essentially kind of plays both sides by helping Changyun and the NIS, and then also plays against, playing an important role of providing certain specific information. Effectively, Jimin himself kind of gets into a lot of trouble, gets beat up a lot, and has to learn his lessons the hard and fatal way, I would say.
Okay, well, I know the recruit is in season 2, so did did you play in season 1, and is it
No,
explain?
no. Well, my character is based in South Korea, and the storyline this year for season two takes place primarily in South Korea. So I was only in this part for this season.
Okay, gotcha. And both seasons are on Netflix, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, talk about some of your biggest influences. Who influenced you to do what you do as far as acting?
I would say, like, for me, I'm still so new, so I think that I'm constantly kind of looking towards mentors, Teo being one of them. I was so grateful to be able to work with him directly after I left my job. I had essentially left my job and then went on a vacation, then came back and booked this job and on the recruit, and was kind of essentially face to face with someone who I really admired. I admired his work from past lives, and it felt like a very surreal moment. I would say, in terms of just taking the leap to going into acting, I don't know if it's cliche or not, but I'm like really thankful and I look forward to my mother a lot. My mother was a fashion designer and an artist, and so seeing her and live her life and be creative really was inspirational to me, to be able to say I could also do that in spite of this kind of conflict, of course, of parent and child wanting, the child to have a secure, stable career. I kind of looked to my mother as someone who was like, hey, you took the leap. You went into, a difficult industry to be in. I can do the same too. And so that's really someone who I look to.
What kind of talk to the listeners about your job before an actor as a lawyer? Kind of explain what you did at that job.
Yeah, for sure. So I was a private equity venture capital lawyer. I spent a lot of time in Silicon Valley working with startups from pre-seed ideation to really public companies that have gone already IPO, and I would take them through the financing stages, acting, at a younger stage, really as general counsel and business strategist. I would edit their pitch decks in addition to general corporate work. And then obviously, as we went up higher and they had more funding and more stable as an organization, really just acting as their counsel that they would refer to. And then on the private equity end, I would work with private equity companies to help invest in companies like startups that they wanted to be a part of. I was really interested in kind of startup mentality and culture and stories, and that's kind of how I realized I really loved storytelling. But after kind of working at one of those large law firms, I moved to go to a financial services company in-house, where I really managed internationally our private markets investments, from both the alternative investment end and direct investments, and kind of help set up the system there on that end.
Well, tell us about any upcoming projects that you're working on that listeners need to be aware of.
Yeah, for sure. So I can't disclose anything formally right now. We're talking internally with a bunch of work that we're kind of trying to finalize, but I am working on developing a film right now. I wrote it. It's essentially a modernized version of Harold and Kumar with two Chinese guys trying to find a vintage record. We're really excited about it, and we're going through the process.
Okay, well, so everybody can keep up with everything that you're up to, throw out your contact info.
For sure. You can find me on Instagram. It's Nicholas the Wan, NicolasThewan.
Okay, what advice would you give someone, looking to get into a career of acting?
I think really it just have fun with it. I would say really, for me at least, having gone through the process, I would say really look internally about why you want to do this. Yes, it's fun. It is a grueling career. Things can happen all of a sudden. It's very chaotic, and to kind of accept that going in, accepting a lot of rejection going in, and accepting that you'll learn more about yourself, and that it's really a test of time. But more than anything else, I would say to take a lot of time to reflect on why you want to be an actor or why you want to be in the entertainment industry. Because I think that once you solidify that reasoning, it will make your path so much more enjoyable through the great times, but more so even through the hard times.
We'll close us out with some final thoughts. Maybe if there was something I forgot to talk about that you would like to touch on, or any final thoughts you have for the listeners.
I don't have anything on my end. I just, I hope that people really enjoy watching The Recruit season 2. I'm really grateful to be a part of the project. I have such amazing colleagues that work there and mentors. And then with respect to acting, just, have fun, learn, take a chance, and sometimes take the leap.
Do you know if there are going to be any more seasons coming out of The Recruit, and are you going to be playing a role in those seasons?
We're currently waiting for Netflix to give us the green light as of this moment in time. So I'm not too sure. I can't really answer that, but fingers crossed.
Okay, well, listeners, I can definitely tell you, I checked out The Recruit season 2. It's definitely great. You guys should check out season 2 as well as season 1, and if any other seasons come out, check it out. Audio description is available for people who are blind and visually impaired, like myself. You guys share this episode to as many people as possible. Follow, rate, review, jump on your favorite podcast app. Check out the show. If you have any guest or suggestion topics, Curtis Jackson 1978 at att.net is the place to send them. Thank you for listening and supporting the show. This all would not happen without you. Nico, thank you for all that you do. Great movie, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for your time.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.